Hmm. All right, mic check. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. See here. Oh, all right, so it's working. All right, I haven't used this one in a while. But all right, guys, yeah, I wanted to do a live stream. I've been working all weekend, so haven't really been able to get up with people and see what's happening and what's cracking out there. So let me just go ahead and there we go. Let me put that right there. All right. Then let me put that there and there's different people that find the podcast different ways. So all right then. I have no idea why that's not moving. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. So let me just go. Let me just use this screen here. This is just much easier for me. All right, then. What is going on, people? It is Sunday. It is 4/5/20. So I certainly hope that everybody had a good, safe weekend. Hope everybody's family's doing well. What's going on, people in the chat? So Ember17, Harry Tron. So man, yeah, Luis Esteban, how are you doing? Yeah, doing this one a little bit later. Hopefully to dredge up some of those people on the West Coast, aka the left coast. So it's about, I think it's 7 o'clock p.m. out there. Everybody's still quarantined. So I wanted to do this one and just kind of touch on something that I've noticed, at least on Twitter, and I don't really engage in it a whole lot anymore. I used to, not as much as not as much as I promise you, it's not as much as I thought I would be. But yeah. So yeah, there you have it. But I got some again, I posted the links, if you want to call them that. Posted some links in the chat if you all just want to follow those links and get some good accurate information on things. I left it to NX Gamer. I left the other one to let me make sure I got them right here. I got him to a Brat podcast. He had Optimus Code on there, and I also got the last one I got there, AMD's Checkmate. I believe that gentleman's name is Cortex, and anybody who's kind of wanting to understand what the PS-5 is doing, because the Mark Cerny's talk did not hit the mark, and it didn't. Um, those guys do a much better job, I think, breaking it down. And but yeah, that's just my opinion. And so shout out, people, hit that like button. And ain't a lot of us here. That's fine. Everybody else is podcasting. Shout out to I think Jay Bari is playing. I think Jabari, yeah, he is playing Grand Blue Fantasy and Marlin Gaming Nation. He's doing a late night stream, and so yeah. Well, what's going on there, Mister Hanma? How you doing? So Paul G, how you doing? Says that Zaddy tells him what to think. Well, there you go. So I can't help you if Zaddy's telling you what to do. But yeah, the gameplay I got up there is from Mass Effect 2, if you all were playing it. So, yeah, Cortex is the real tech guy, not a straight up. Yeah, I agree. No, you're right. You're right. And the way he explains it, and you got to go to like the 6 minute mark of that video because he's much more of, he's talking about it more from this AMD, how they're going to take on the Nvidia versus anything else. But he does a much better job breaking down what PlayStation 5 is going to be able to do. And again, Zaddy did do a more in-depth breakdown of what they're going to be able to do with PS5. And again, I'm not going to buy the Series X, so I have no interest in what the Series X is going to do. if something jumps out, let me make this clear. If something jumps out, I will look at it. I'll cover it because it's something that's jumping out. But I will pretty much just be covering because I'm buying the PS5. That's what I'm going to pretty much be covering. So probably about 80% to 20%. So it's not that I'm not going to cover stuff for Xbox, but I'll vector you guys to listen to BitCloud and Foxy Games because they plan on buying a new Xbox. I don't. So what's up, Lincoln Clay? How you doing? How are you doing, Lincoln Clay? So let me know if you want to jump on, Lincoln Clay. You can come in through the porch light thing. Matter of fact, let me open up that thing. What do y'all call it? Discord. I didn't do that earlier. Shame on me. So Alabama Jones, roll tide. How are you doing? How are you doing? You all hit that like button. It says there's 20 people in here watching. And again, this is going to be this will be short and to the point. We won't be up late. I know some of y'all got to work in the morning, and yeah, I put in 24 hours at the hospital today. So we put in 24 of them. So not today, but over the weekend. Did 12 yesterday, 12 Sunday. So what the hell is that? So let me find this here. All right. So mic check. Yeah, there we go. So I'm in the Porch Light podcast.
Doing?
Wait, said, what the fuck?
What are you all doing here so late? Hold on.
We're watching WrestleMania.
Oh, WrestleMania's on? Oh, trash. All right, then. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, see you later, bro.
All right, then. All right, then. All right, I'm back. They over there watching WrestleMania, for Christ's sake. Oh, yeah, look at Clay. Go ahead and jump in, brother. Go ahead and jump in. I'm in the Discord through RGT. Go to Porchlight Pod and just jump on in. Let me make sure I got desktop audio turned up. So here we go. Got the media source. I think I got everything lined up. If you jump on. So, oh no, shoot you a link. I have no idea how to do that through the Discord. Okay, let me see if I can get this. Create an invite. Okay, let me see here. I'm going to invite. I don't see you on here. I see Porter Rock. I see Sick. Let me go to. Let me see if I can invite you in. Oh, I see Pablo the Third. I think you can get in through RGT. If you go to the RGT one, because they're actually on right now, watching WrestleMania. Trash, by the way. Yeah. Wait a minute. Is that true? Is there something here about Remedy describes Control PS5 hypes ray tracing? So I may have to talk about that tomorrow morning. So but what's going on? Is that Sick Humor? What's up, Sick Humor? So yeah, check this one out, guys. If you want to, if anybody wants to jump on, just come into the Porchlight Podcast. Yeah, and this is if you haven't played Mass Effect 2, my mic is too low. All right, let me go here. No, not according to this thing. All right, hold on. Let me try this here. Well, that's got me cranked up pretty high. They said it was loud and clear earlier. Yeah, I'm on 100%. So, oh, Sick is working. That's right. Yeah, Sick is working. He's the man. Nah, he said it's good. Yeah. You're not in the RGT Discord. Now it's loud. Yeah, I turned it up because they said they couldn't hear. Okay, let me go back down to Route 66 and then let me bring it down a little bit there. All right, is that better, people? I'm not quarantined. I'm essential personnel, but thanks for asking me. I'm about to order. I got Cinemax 7 days for free, and I'm off till Thursday. I'm on a mini vacation, so What's up, Eric? So I'm gonna watch Contagion probably tomorrow when I get home. So I got my income taxes ready to be filed. I'm doing that next Friday. So I'm getting that done. Lansville Paul said it must be on his end. Yeah. I think it is. Yeah. But all right, guys. So let me get started here. It's a little bit after 10. All right. So it's fixed. Cool. You want to shoot a StreamYard? Well, this is a StreamYard. I'm on something called OBS. So, and let me see here. Hold on. Let me try one more thing. Damn it to hell. Okay, let me try this then. There is somebody here, but they're not talking.
I haven't said anything.
Oh, that's why. So let me try this here. Let me see here. Yeah, that's not working either. Damn it. So let me try this. I mean, everybody else is here. Let me try that one more time. It just says no results found. I don't know if I can't do an invite or not. All right, well let me start then. So, oh, use the sick cord. Oh, okay, yeah. Let me try that. Thanks, sick. Appreciate it. Let's see here. I gotta find it. Okay, there's the sick brigade. There's the sick cord. All right, so now I'm in the sick cord. So Lincoln, if you can jump into that one, I guess you could be in two places at once. Now somebody else is in here. So, but all right, there's Lincoln. All right, you can unmute your mic there. There you go. Somebody else is in here. Yeah, hold on.
Okay, right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. Yeah.
You doing, my friend?
Yeah. No, what now? What'd you say? I can hear you.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, thanks.
All right, man. How's the VR treating you?
Loving it. I'm playing Half-Life Alyx right now. I got about 26 hours into it.
Damn. What's that game about?
It's supposed, the Half-Life games is supposed to be in between Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2.
Oh, okay. Well, damn. I heard it's real good. So
it is. It got a 93 on Metacritic. Let me turn this mic down a little bit.
Right.
It got a 93 on Metacritic.
Well, that's
and let me see. I think it's. Dude, I was going to say something else about it. It might be the highest. It might be the highest rated VR game. I'm not sure.
Okay, that's cool. That's what's up then. So you've been able to see a steadily increase in VR games and quality, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I had planned to do a podcast talking about Half-Life Alyx because I'm seriously wondering if that game is going to come to the PS5 because I definitely believe that Boneworks is going to come to the PS5. There's no doubt in my mind that's going to happen because it started out on Steam, but it eventually made its way to the Oculus store.
Yeah.
Now, in the case of Half-Life Alyx, with this being a Valve game, whether it would make it to the PS5 or not, I guess all depends on how Valve feel. If they want exclusivity, then it'll stay there. But if they want to get their money back or turn a profit, then yeah, you will see it on the PS5.
Yeah, I think ultimately you will because they've all pledged to help, to help that medium grow.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now with VR. Is that pretty much everybody agrees that we all got to work together. Not just developers and publishers, content creators as well as consumers. We all got to work together to make VR grow to hit the mainstream.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. What do you think about Iron Man VR getting postponed?
Given the situation that I'm in right now, I guess that's fine with me because I said that in a couple of podcasts too, that I had to tighten my belt a little bit because not because of the pandemic, because I got a few things staring me in the face. Like next month, is my birthday, so I got to renew the plates on my car, the registration, and that's probably going to cost me about $500 to renew on both cars.
Oh, okay, damn. Yeah. Well, happy early birthday.
Thanks. I mean, here in Michigan, registration, it used to go by weight, but now it goes by what the car cost when it was brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And I got an Acura and a Lexus. One was about 55,000 brand new, and the other one was 70,000. And in a way, I got that kind of money.
yeah, that's not behind the pillow. I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, so because of that, that's my next order of business. But so because of that, because of some things that I need to take care of, it doesn't really affect me that much that Iron Man VR got delayed. Mm-hmm. I do think that's not a good look for the game itself, though, because in a minute, it's going to look like that situation with Drive Club. If you remember Drive Club, it was supposed to, if I remember correctly, it was supposed to be a free-to-play game at the beginning of the generation when the PS4 first came out. Yeah, but it was plagued with delays. And then when the game finally came out, it was buggy, it was glitchy, it was broken. And to the point where Sony was even giving people a refund. I got my money back on the game. The game came back. I think the game came back like a month later. Down to like $30, if I'm not mistaken. And it took Sony a while to get this game right through patches and other means. So I think Sony kicked them to the curb because of that. So I think that's what we could be looking at here with the Iron Man situation, because we've already had a couple of delays. This game was supposed to come out, I believe, in like either summer or fall of 2019. Then we got it delayed till February 28th. And now, then it got pushed back to May 29th, whatever that day was. And now it's, delayed indefinitely, which I can kind of understand this situation because of the pandemic. Yeah. And my guess is, let's face it, VR is still niche. It's not going to do the kind of numbers that's expected out of The Last of Us 2, and not to mention that they probably paid Marvel a few bucks to be able to make that game. So I'd imagine that they're going to be looking to get their money back and not take a loss on this game. So not only that, I think this is a game that could help VR build some momentum going into the PS5. So I think it's the right move to go ahead and delay the game right now, but it's still not a good look, being that this is like the third time it's been delayed.
Well, I heard that. What's going on, Emerald 17?
Oh, not too much. I was actually listening to what y'all were saying about the Drive Club and all that situation. And it was unfortunate, but it wasn't as bad as what people thought. The game itself wasn't buggy. The problem was the servers. That people were overloading the servers trying to connect too much at once, and they couldn't keep the servers
Oh,
up.
bandwidth issues. I see. All right, now Lincoln, let me ask you, man, what's going on with these people's reaction to The Last of Us being delayed? You got a bunch of fruit booties online getting crying like they're, like somebody shot their damn dog. So
to me, that should have been expected. I mean, I did a podcast talking about that, and I'm not surprised. And I even somewhat seen The Last of Us 2. I seen the delay coming with that, but I didn't see it coming with Iron Man because, realistically, Sony can't expect Iron Man to do near as well is The Last of Us 2. And in the case of The Last of Us 2, not only is this the most anticipated game for the generation for Sony, it's probably the most anticipated game in its history. So
really, I still think Final Fantasy VII is the most anticipated game.
I'm looking at it from an exclusive standpoint. I don't know if Final Fantasy is an exclusive. So
no, you're
from
right.
a standpoint from a Sony exclusive, this could be the most anticipated game in their in their gaming history. So
fair enough. I mean, no, you're right. I can't argue that. That's actually a good point. Yeah, as far as exclusive it is, I agree.
Yeah, and people talk about they have their belief that Sony, they elected not to they elected to delay the game because physical discs won't be on shelves. Yeah, I think that's part of it, but I think the biggest reason is it comes down to sales. This pandemic right now has people out of work, so there's a lot of people that wouldn't be able to buy this game right now, even if there was physical discs on the shelf right now, because they're not working. And let's face it, when it comes to single player games, when that game first come out, that's going to be your best, that's going to be your biggest wave of buyers. So, you got to get them on the first run. If they launch this game, and they end up losing like 2/3 of potential sales because of this pandemic, once this game is already out, there's going to be some people out there that were interested in buying this game, and then they end up watching the story unfold on YouTube, and then they don't go buy it. That's potential lost sales for them.
Oh yeah, no, the reason they delayed it is because of sales. I talked to the friend of mine that works at GameStop, and he basically said, yeah, it's because of physical sales. GameStop around the world, they've got millions of dollars of reserves, and you can't unreserve the game. You can't just call them up and unreserve it. They're going to hold your cash until you they can actually get out some physical copies, but it's going to be like Resident Evil 3. Like the physical copies of Resident Evil 3, they never came to my city. So the people who have them reserved, they're waiting. And then there's people that you're right, that are finished playing the game. They like finish it on hard and all that kind of stuff.
Case in point. I was really looking forward to Days Gone, and I really, really, really wanted to play that entire game. Yeah. And I had already been, getting down on myself about buying games and not finishing them. Mm-hmm. And I think I had put in about maybe 4 hours or something like that into Days Gone. And I got away from the game for a few days and got caught up watching Sick Humor streams. Yeah. And even though I didn't see the ending of the game, I saw enough of his streams that I just never came back to it.
Yeah, people were getting mad at me because, and I said this before, that there were zombies on there. People are like, well, they weren't zombies. I'm like, yeah, they are. They're running around in mobs trying to kill people. They're zombies. They're like, well, because they wash their clothes and they act like normal people. It's like, dude, they're zombies. It's just give it.
Okay, so let's and I think I had kind of broke this down too. Mm-hmm. I had made, I was just throwing some numbers out there. Uh-huh. The first week that The Last of Us 2 would have released, if we weren't dealing with this pandemic, I was going to make a guess that it was probably going to do about 2.5 million units sold the first week. Yeah. But because there's a lot of people out of work, I think they would be lucky to do 1 million. So out of that other 1.5 million people that are possibly lost, some of them are not going to come back because they might not get, they might be unemployed. They might not have a job to come back to. Yeah. And then the other factor was that I've mentioned that some of those people that didn't get the game, if they end up watching it on YouTube after they see the entire story unfold, they may not feel the need to want to buy it. So,
no, you're right. You're right. It's about the saturation. It's about getting
right. So the best thing for Sony to do is to wait until the economy recovers from this pandemic before they release the game, and I think that's why they use the word indefinitely.
Yeah, well, again, we're never going to recover whole. There's people who are not working; they're not going back. There's jobs that are not going to come back. It's just the way it is. You're gonna see a lot of restaurants pop up like that just do delivery, and that's it. Like, I mean, it's just they're going to whole lot of sit down restaurants are going to be going out of business. The little niche places, they're going to be gone. But
let me throw something at Jemiah Dixon, because he said, no, gamers will find a way to buy games. That would be true, but
not if they're not on the shelf. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, but let's go back to the numbers that I was talking about. Mm-hmm. If you go back to me saying that they would possibly get 2.5 million units sold if it weren't for this pandemic. And let's say that I'm right, that they would only sell 1 million, and there's still 1.5 million people who potentially they won't have this game for one reason or another. How many of them do you think will be resourceful enough to try to go get the money to buy this game?
Well, again, I don't think people got to understand. I think a lot of people who are hardcore, if you're talking about the hardcore, they would go get the game. They just say
they will, but there's also going to be people that's got mortgages and car payments and all kinds of other stuff.
They won't buy it. Yeah, they won't buy it. I agree with you. How are you going to look your wife in the face And if you're not working and she's not working, you're like, hey babe, I'm gonna go and buy this $60 game or whatever. I got the
you
100.
come home with that game under your armpit, you're gonna catch a frying pan to the head.
Yeah. Because you got idiots like me. I went out and I bought the middle copy physical. I can't get that digitally, so I'm never gonna buy that game digitally. I have to wait on my physical copy. Now, here's the good news. The gameplay that we saw, and I saw two things. One, I saw some side boob. I mean, Naughty Dog gave me a little side boob there. And then number two, Ellie playing that guitar, they're going to let you select the notes. So I don't know how advanced that build is, but if they let you select the notes, they will actually let you do songs. You can and I can sit there all day and do songs with with those acoustical guitars. And that'll be my game. Like, I was gonna do some songs, but we have to wait and see how that goes. I do agree with people, if they had a demo that they were supposed to show, a playable demo, maybe Naughty Dog puts that out. Something like they did with Resident Evil, Capcom did. It was like 20 minutes long. Something like that, let people take their screenshots and brag about it, because that's what they want to do. So yeah.
I could see them doing that, but whether or not they will is the real question on that matter.
Yeah. I don't know if they will, but if they want to if they feel interest is feigning, which because again, they got the Final Fantasy game that will be here. I was guaranteed a copy, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna come and pick it up next Friday, because that's when my computer should be going into the shop, and the Black Order is going to go ahead and throw the new CPU and this SSD and my 8 gigs of RAM. And I'm going to desperately try to get the new GPU next Friday. And then hopefully DJ Trump gives me my ducats, and I can go ahead and finish it up. So, but my prediction was like 1.8 million in 1 week. So,
I think you're both underselling that game quite a bit, because that game's got a huge following, given that between the two consoles, the first one released on it's crossed over 20 million sales.
First week, not 2 or 3 million.
Super chat, if I can read it.
Yeah, go ahead, read that super chat for me.
We got Euro Hama.
Yep.
Hamna. He says that underestimate consumer prediction for The Last of Us 2 was estimated 5 million on the first week, not 2 or 3 million. I was just when I guessed 2 or 3 million, it was just a number that I was loosely throwing out there.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's just say that number, but let's just say that they have internal numbers that put it at 5. There's no way in hell they're going to release that game digital then. That's not going to happen. If they have an internal number that says 5 million, you are going to wait. Okay, that's crazy.
Is it safe to
yeah, Jemai, I'm always
yeah, you make a good point, because they're definitely going to lose out on the physical sales, and still to go back to my point, they're still going to lose some digital sales too, due to people being out of work. Yeah. A lot is riding on this game, and Sick Humor made a good point on one of his podcasts that there's no mention of Predator being delayed. And
and I've got that reserved. I've got that reserved too, because I'm getting that game. Because I'm just going to play as the Predator, and I'm just going to kill people. That's what I was doing during the day.
I'm taking a wait and see approach on that. And then on the VR side of it, Sony just released a game called Paper Beast.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no mention of that game.
Oh, that game's about the Xbox. That game's about the Xbox. So
that game got released on PlayStation VR last week.
Oh, okay.
Well, there was no mention about that game being released. So where I'm going with this is, as far as the Iron Man VR goes, if this was not a Marvel game and they hadn't paid Marvel to make this game, they probably would have followed through with releasing this game, especially with a huge majority of the sales coming from digital. Because when it comes to VR, the digital to physical disc ratio is definitely what's the word I'm looking for? There's definitely a much bigger gap with that.
Yeah, the saturation isn't as big. All right, but what do you think? Let me give you my quick take on these people lying about the PS5. The lie started with the whole RDNA 1, and that was a lie. And that would turn out to be then it was RDNA 1.5 or RDNA Lite. I don't know. I've never heard of this. I'm a big AMD. I'm the biggest AMD fanboy you're gonna find. There is no such thing. It's RDNA 1.5, you know. So, and then then it became RDNA 2. They called AMD a liar. Like, they literally called somebody working for AMD a liar. And then so they got their cheeks busted on that. Then we got the whole thing on ray tracing, which I do have the thing from Friday about control. And again, people got to understand, why would Remedy... Anyway, I'll get into that tomorrow. There's going to be some more people hurting tomorrow. They just get ready, get the marshmallows, get your Preparation H ready. Because if this is true, what Remedy has just put out here about the PS5 version of Control, there's going to be some cheeks getting busted tomorrow. But I got to wait and see. So, but, and now we got the PS5 catching on fire. So, you know, it's just... The PS5 is going to do its 4K, 8K thing. I do think Series X is going to be better suited to do 8K, to support 8K natively. It's not that PS5 won't, but that dolphin game we saw, that looked straight up trash. And I was told it wasn't a dolphin, it was a porpoise. I got people arguing with me that it was a porpoise. It looked like a dolphin to me, but I got people in my ear saying that it looked like a damn porpoise. So... But that game could be 8K for all I know, you know, but that's what they're getting. But my question is, why do you think people are lying about the PS5, the capabilities and stuff like that?
You want to go first, Amiris?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead and talk it over. I'm going to think about it some more because I was formulating some thoughts while I was listening to Craig. I kind of lost everything I had in my head.
Oh, well, I have that on people. It's called the reality stone. So there we go. All right, go ahead, Lincoln.
Baffled by this.
Uh-huh.
I think this is going too far with this console war. People to do something so irresponsible, in my opinion, to go off and say these kind of things, especially if it's been proven to be a lie. Stuff like that, you know, it's like it's really gotten to the point where they're blocking people on Twitter who feed into this console war by deliberately spreading misinformation. Which one you like, fine. You know, if you like Xbox, you like PlayStation, fine. But when you get to the point where you deliberately spread information in an effort to try to sabotage the opponent, is ridiculous. It's out of hand. Is irresponsible. And consoles, you know, PlayStation would be my preferred console, but not to the point where I would just jump up and start spreading misinformation on Twitter about the Xbox. I would never take it that far, and it makes me wonder, what is the deal with these people? I mean, I don't know what is so messed up in their life that they gotta, you know, constantly spread misinformation. I guess is one thing maybe if you're a crap gamer who, you know, a lot of his toxic behavior was, you know, so he can get his little, you know, couple dollars that he was getting, whatever, from views. But even still, I think even his behavior was irresponsible for quite a while.
Yeah, well, he said it was, so don't feel bad. He's actually in his own podcast said that it is. I thought it was funny about the whole fire thing, or, you know, I don't know how in the world people who don't even, like, Sony hasn't shown any final form. We haven't seen any form factors yet. So how do they even know what the damn thing looks like so that it will catch on fire? So with this fire,
okay, so so put me on the right road. With this fire thing, first I heard it was the dev kits that was catching on fire, and then, you know, now it's like, now I'm hearing it's the console itself.
Well, it's neither. It's just I think they're trying to kill it in the womb so that people won't go buy it. Because they think the power is still more important. And it's because they don't have any exclusive content. So it's like, well, they're hung up on power. And it's kind of like, well, maybe power is important to you, but if 4K is 4K, what do you? I mean, they've been reduced to talking about compute unit counts, and hardware ray tracing, which they swore a couple weeks ago it wasn't going to be able to do. So I mean, which one is it? Let me see here. I was typing this thing for Remedy, talking about. I got to check it about this Remedy control.
And while you go over that, if like in the beginning when I heard that it was the dev kits catching on fire, I didn't believe that for 1 second, because I'm like, these dev kits have been in the hands of developers for the last couple of years, easy, and we just now hearing about them catching on fire.
Because it's a lie. Oh my God!
Right, so I didn't believe that for 1 minute, but then like, when it evolved and it's like, okay, now it's the console catching on fire and not the dev kit. Before I even had a chance to even like take a minute to try to think about it and try to give a well thought out answer, Sick Humor, people like him was already on top of it, saying how the hell, when it hasn't been proven that they even have one or know what it looks like. So how can they know that it caught on fire?
No, I mean, that's a good point. It's a good point.
A couple of days ago, I actually found something on I'm not even sure why I'm in the group, but it's a pop-off gaming group on Facebook, and some idiot over there has created a link saying that Sony is looking to cancel the current PS-5 setup. And I clicked his link to see what his YouTube channel was, and he's actually got people down there believing what he said about that.
Here's the development and billions of dollars spent developing this console, and now they would pull the plug on it at this stage. You got to be kidding me.
Well,
the same way Microsoft, when they came out with the Xbox One X, they knew that CPU was the bottleneck. They had to know about the frame drops and the screen tearing before the console even came out, but they still pushed it out anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, they had to do something. I had the Xbox One X, and it's I had the X, and it's not a bad console. I don't see what the big deal was. I did not see. There was maybe 1 or 2 games, multiplayer games, that really stood out on that console versus the Pro, but nothing else. I mean, Assassin's Creed Origins, the cutscenes looked so much better on the Xbox. The Pro looked washed out. It did look washed out, but it didn't look like that for Odyssey. I can't
even accept that as law, because
that's the truth.
King Thrash had pointed out something that I think what the hell is that name of the damn medieval game?
Medieval?
Yeah, was it Medieval?
It was a medieval game. God, dog it! I can't. Oh man, it's stuck on the tip of my tongue. I can't.
You talking about the Lord of the Rings one?
One where the guy was like kind of like out of his body and was
that was a Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, that was a Shadows of War.
Yeah, the Mordor, whatever that game was. Shadows of Mordor, whatever it was. Okay, which one was the first one?
Shadows of Mordor.
Shadows of Mordor.
Okay, King Thrash pointed out something on that game.
Mm-hmm.
When they did the enhancements patch on both the Xbox One X and the PlayStation Pro, the PlayStation Pro did not look that good, but they came back with another patch and it ended up looking a lot better, and it was within the ball field of the Xbox One X, but Digital Foundry didn't say nothing about it. So King Thrash was one of, from from me watching YouTube, King Thrash was one of the first people that pointed out the Digital Foundry might be on the take, so.
Well, I mean, again, he was
also,
right. He was right that they didn't go back. He was right. Digital Foundry did not go back in after the PlayStation was patched. I mean, they put the same.
But they were doing that with the Xbox, though. That was something that I caught on to, because every time a game looked better on the Pro, Digital Foundry act like that's not supposed to happen. They we're puzzled as to why the Xbox One X
because of no. They've answered that. You're right, but they've answered that. It's because the baseline specs of the Xbox X are better than the Pro. So when they see something on the Pro running better, it does surprise them. It would be like if you went out and got a 2080 Ti and then somebody else had a 2070 and they ran the same game. You had the same CPU.
I can understand them.
Yeah,
I can understand them feeling that way about it. Yeah. But where I was going with this was that every time something looked better on the Pro, Digital Foundry was trying to nudge the developers to go back and work on the Xbox X version on it. Maybe when after they come out with a patch, we can revisit this and take a look at it again. But they would never say anything like that for the PlayStation Pro. If the Xbox One X version looked better than the Pro, that's the end of it. But if the Pro looks better than the X, then they act like something wasn't right, and then they throw in subliminal messages at the developers to go back and fix this, and then we'll take a look at it again.
I don't disagree with that.
They did it with Titanfall too.
Yeah, they did it with that game, Anthem. They did it with Anthem
with that dynamic resolution. It was supposed to go as high as 6K, but it dropped as low as 720p. Yeah. And whereas I think the Pro version of it was a consistent 1440p, and Digital Foundry act like that wasn't supposed to happen. So they kind of nudged the developers into going back and putting out another patch for it.
Well, the good news with PS5 is that allegedly the game will be ready. There will be no day one patch. Like as soon as it's loaded, it's supposed to be ready to go. But again, we have to wait and see. I know what they're saying, but I need to see it in real time. Yeah, I mean, I just think they're trying. There's a lot of people they're afraid, and somebody told me this. Somebody said, "Look, these cats really do believe that the Xbox got bad PR." And that's what killed it last generation. So they are attempting to do the same thing with the PlayStation. Now, as soon as Sony does their deep dive, which they're going to do in, I think, 3 more weeks, with Digital Foundry, apparently, they're bringing in Zaddy. Okay, they're not hesitating with Zaddy this time. I mean, don't ask me why, but Zaddy is going to do the deep dive, and then we will actually be able to see what the console does look like. But the reason why you haven't seen anything is because Sony wants to show you, this is what I got told by my friend that works for GameStop. They want to show you 4 TVs. One's going to have a PlayStation Slim, or what do you want to call it. One's going to have a Pro, and the other's going to have the PS5. Guess what the other one is going to have hooked up to it, allegedly? Just guess. Anybody?
Series X?
Yeah, Series X. Mm-hmm. A Series X hooked up to it. And they're going to show you what some of these games look like running. They're going to show you the load times, and they're going to show you what they physically are looking like. And
are they going to show that dolphin game?
Oh, I don't know about that. Again, it was a porpoise. That's what I've been told. It was a porpoise. So I don't know, because to me, a porpoise and a dolphin look the same. I think a porpoise is smaller. I think when I went to SeaWorld, I remember that girl saying a porpoise is smaller. I think. I mean, I don't know. They look the same. I mean, they do look the same, but I think a porpoise is smaller than a dolphin. But I could be wrong. Shitfire. It's a mammal, too. It does the same thing. It swims fast, and it has a bottlenose. So, it can do the exact same thing. So
I'm equally as flabbergasted about Microsoft pushing this dolphin game and act like this is the reason why if they want to push that game, they can push it. But I'm just blown away that they are acting like this is a reason to buy the Xbox Series X, the same way they acted like Sea of Thieves and Super Lucky's Tale was a reason to buy the Xbox One X. You must be kidding me.
Well, no, those games were 4K. You got the Xbox X's whole thing again, and somebody else was saying this. Maybe it was Rig Gaming Tech, but there was somebody else who was saying, look, they put 4K. Maybe it was Salty. I think it was the Saltiest Gamer who said that they put 4K on that chip, on the Xbox X chip.
Yeah,
so,
but if memory serves me right, like Super Lucky's Tale was 4K, but it didn't even have HDR.
Hey, well, that's terrible then. I mean, you gotta have I'd rather have a 1080p game with HDR than a 4K game without it. I mean, because that HDR is for me personally, that was the biggest jump. Because remember, the Xbox X has Dolby Vision on it, and nobody talks about it. Like nobody talks about Dolby Vision, But I believe the Xbox X is capable of supporting Dolby Vision, but no, you don't. Again, people didn't support it because it was more hardware driven. So, yeah, this thing about control, guys, I'm going to do my homework on it. But if this is true, what the control developers are saying about the PS5, I'm going to need answers from the people who told me that the control failed. I mean, again, I got to do my research on it. So I'm giving you all a 12-hour warning that you all going to, your cheeks may get busted tomorrow. You're going to be sore because according to what is here, they are going to be able to do different things with the SSD. That's why I have to see if it's real or not. I got to see if it's real. So it could be bullshit, but it may not be bullshit. And if it's not, oh my God, your cheeks are going to get busted. So I'm just letting you know early. I'm letting you know it's going to be bad. Going to be bad for you all tomorrow. So like I said, I'm already in a mood. We got some people checked out of the hospital after treating them for this virus. So things are starting to get a little bit. We had a good weekend. I'll put it like that. It was a good weekend. But overall, I'm just looking at this. And this is from Push Square. And either you're a circle or you're a push square. So that's all I can say. But it's yeah, I'm gonna need an explanation if this turns out to be true. So
hopefully you'll go live and that'll give me some content to listen to while I'm at work.
Yeah. Look for me. Hopefully around between 11 and 12. I'm gonna try to get done before. Shout out to the brother Marlon Gaming. I'm gonna try to get done because he usually goes at 1. So I like to listen to his podcast because he starts saying "Let's go, champ." And that doesn't do anything for me, but
Shannon Briggs. Let's go, champ.
Champ. Oh, is that who he got that from? All right, now I'm just saying that's what he likes to say. That's
what it was. The boxer Shannon Briggs. He was for a while. He was hunting down Vladimir Klitschko, trying to get a fight with him. So he was showing up. He was showing up where Vladimir Klitschko was at. Like one video, he showed up at a restaurant, sat down at the table with him, and started eating his food.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, another one, Vladimir. I think he was like on a jet ski or something like that, and Briggs showed up on a boat or something like that and splashed him and caused him to fall off the jet ski or something like that. So he was hunting down for a while trying to get a fight, and every time he would catch up to him, he's like, "Let's go, champ! Let's go,
okay.
champ!"
Well, anyway, all right. So that's all right, fine. But that's what he does. That's kind of his catchphrase. So, but I like listening to him. So I like the young guys coming up. They seem extremely informative. So I mean, I don't agree with everything. I think it sounded like to me he was trying to get people not to buy Series X, and I'm kind of like, look, if you want to buy one, somebody can buy me one. I physically can't. My wallet won't work if I try to buy one. It's like when I literally tried to buy that NVIDIA card a couple weeks ago. I'm like, you know what? People keep telling me NVIDIA is so good. I'm going to go check out something called a 2060. And when I physically tried to buy it, I physically went up there to get it. My wallet did not work correctly. Like it would not open. So that, just something about it. I don't know what happened. Just it malfunctioned. I had a wardrobe malfunction. It did not open. It just would not let me buy a NVIDIA card. So it's something about rip off and it's too expensive and blah, blah, blah. So, and it told me that the 5700 XT was a better card. That's exactly it. So did I finish Control? Not yet. I'm at the end and it's hard as hell and I don't know how to upgrade my gun. So I've been playing this game, Control. I've got like 5 guns. And some are much better than others, but it's got like 3 slots, and I only know how to use one of the slots. So I've been playing this game, just going through it, doing it the hard way. in the words of the Booty Warrior. You got to do it the easy way or the hard way. I've been doing it the hard way.
Yeah, the choice is yours.
Yeah, the choice was mine. I don't know how to make my gun go, put up another thing. So, yeah, Cyberpunk it's going to be delayed just because it's called Cyberpunk. I do not know why y'all are buying that game when you can buy what's it called? Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. It's the same game. You're literally going to be doing the same thing, except one is by CD Projekt Red. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I guess it is what it is because in my case, if Half-Life Alyx would have got delayed, I would have been disappointed.
Yeah, it's okay to be disappointed. Look, I'm all for being disappointed, but what I am not for is these idiots running around talking about, oh no, my life is going to end. I'm stuck in my mama's basement. I can't play The Last of Us Part 2. It's just kind of like, dude, it's it's more stuff going on out in the world than. And now, granted, I'll give credit where credit is due. Naughty Dog showing that, or whoever put that stuff up where you could play the guitar, that really drew me back in. I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. Plus, it showed Ellie getting up, and I got a little side boob action. So, all right, that I'm good for that. But I want to play this game, Final Fantasy VII, because this sword is bigger than this person. I need to find out why his sword is as big as he is, because that's why I didn't play this game. Yeah, this is why I didn't buy the game years ago when it came out. I looked at the box. I'm like, all right, everybody's talking about this. I'm gonna play it. I'm like, oh, look, his sword is bigger than him. I ain't gonna play this game. That's just stupid. So I just put it back. Where it turns out it's like the mother of all games. So it's the game that people cried, and stuff like that. So, but yeah, what now?
I was just going to say that Cloud's Buster Blade was always a staple of the Final Fantasy series with the big weapon.
Yeah, you're right. And I just need to know why his weapon is as big as he is. It's actually bigger. So I don't know how he wields that with the fulcrum that he would have to deal. So again, I want to know why, and that's why I'm getting the game. And I like the demo. The demo looked fantastic. It had great music. The music was fantastic. So yeah, I'm excited about it, and see how that's going to play. And that comes out next week, and I'll be getting mine Friday after next. So I'm excited about it. So,
Craig, before you get off here tonight, I wanted to run something by you. Over the weekend, I have seen people on Twitter talking about how, and it's just I see them in random threads where they're talking about the Xbox One X always performing and looking better than the Pro. Mm-hmm. We have seen several situations where the Pro has performed better, may not look better, but perform better. Mm-hmm. And I've tried to point that out and given them examples, and they usually throw it back at me, which is normal. Yeah. But they blame it on the developers for like Resident Evil 3, for example. And I wondered what you think about that.
It's always something. It's not the Xbox's fault. It's like they're like women. It's not my fault. It's like you turn the oven up to 400. Yeah, well, it's not my fault. So it's developers. I wouldn't blame the developers. I blame Microsoft because obviously they chose 4K over everything. Period. Period. So it is what it is. So Jemiah says this 2080 Ti always performs better. Better than what? Look, as much as you all paid for the 2080 Ti, it better help you birth a child. Because that thing is still costing like $1,200, which is nuts. So yeah, it ought to perform better, But is it going to perform better than that big Navi? I'm hearing fear. What do they call it? I hear fear coming out in the video. They don't know what to do. Talking about 80 compute units and maybe 18 T-flops is what I've been hearing. So that's what I've been hearing. I don't know if it's true. But as far as, now to answer your question, it's yeah, they were saying that to me too, lazy developers. Oh, all right, well, could it be that Microsoft, they prioritize 4K over, performance? Because that's what they did, ultimately.
Not only do I think it's possible that Microsoft prioritized 4K over performance, I'm beginning to wonder if they ordered developers to make sure that their version looks better than the Pro, even if it comes at the expense of performance. Because somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me like whenever these games are at 1440 on the Xbox One X, it runs about the same as the Pro, give or take. It only seems to have a serious problem when the resolution is noticeably higher than the pros, that we see these performance issues.
Yeah, that's true too. Somebody want to know if I haven't played this.
So it makes me wonder if Microsoft instructed the developers that their version must look better than the Pro, even if it comes at the expense of a few frames being dropped.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, they more than likely told them to prioritize 4K, and even if that comes at the risk, yeah, with the rest of what you're saying is true. If they have bad performance, they want to point to, hey, look, it looks better. It's not performing as good. Again, the performance of Resident Evil 3 on Xbox X, that's terrible. I mean, that is terrible. So I'm not here to say it won't. It may run better tomorrow, for all I know. But I just know as of right now, it runs like trash. Now they'll say, well, it looks better. Well, okay, but if your game ain't performing as good, that's trash. What about that? Is Call of Duty Warzone, isn't it performing better on the Pro? I mean, I'm not playing it. I'm not playing that game because I don't want to get online and call in the B2 and put on a headset. You know, I just can't do it. But it's allegedly it's playing better on the PlayStation. So again, it's just it's trash. But yeah, see, I personally think because the Series X has a lower clock speed, but somebody pointed something out to me, and this is true. They have a lower clock, but they're only going to have access to 10 gigabytes of RAM. So that could actually help with the bottlenecks. So,
they have 16 gigs in the machine, but it's like 10 of it is a faster speed. The other 6 are much lower speed, and I think it's for other processes, I believe is what I understood. But when I've tried to, discuss that with people, they usually pretty much tell me that I'm stupid, so I never really get a straight answer on that.
Oh yeah, well, they'll be getting this. We're all going to be getting some straight answers here pretty soon.
Definitely.
Oh, let's see the Corona 5K rumor. I don't know. Well, here's what I do know is that we were not ready for it. That's it. There is no more talking about it. There isn't anymore. They should have had more tests out there, and that's a big problem. And now we have a pandemic, and I mean, people are dying. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. Can't get people off vents because as soon as you start to wean them off, and weaning sound is exactly what we do. It's like weaning a baby off of breast milk, So, and as soon as you start to wean, they start to go into distress, because they can't breathe for themselves anymore. So, because the viruses, destroyed their lungs. So, but so new virus, very deadly. I don't think it's a conspiracy. They just and most of us are going to be okay. About 82% will be okay, but there's about 18% that they're gonna have some problems with this thing.
Yeah, my brother being one of them. My brother tested positive for the virus a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
He has been in isolation and he has recovered. So
that's great news. Yeah, that's great news. And which means he has antibodies. Which means he has antibodies.
So I mean, I kept quiet about it because the more I would have talked about it to people, I think the more it would have been harder for me to do what I need to do at work.
Yeah. Again, but that is great news. That is great news, definitely. So, because a lot of people
I did talk to him today, and he described it the way he described it. He said his lungs is like his lungs was just full of mucus, and he was just like constantly spitting up mucus, to the point where there was a couple of inches worth of that stuff in a bowl, and when he went to go pour it down the toilet, it was so thick that really wasn't come out of the bowl, so he just ended up throwing the whole bowl away.
Yeah, this is nasty. It's a nasty virus. So it's a nasty pathogen. Yeah. It looks nasty.
He basically described it as the flu times 10.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's a flu, and it is a flu. Let's be honest. It is a flu, but it's just a nasty flu. So, but I'm glad more people are being able to recover, and we'll start getting more of those stories out right now. So, but yeah, 2020 sucks. So it just does for a multitude of reasons. I mean, we lost the basketball tournament. I mean, they haven't. The NFL draft it's hard to believe the NFL draft is next. Is it next week or week after next? It's
No,
hard to believe.
it definitely would have been in April. I know that.
Yeah, I think it's the week after next, and they're drafting from home, so it's going to be like you can watch it, but they're going to set like a virtual room for it. It's going to be weird. It's going to be interesting what they're going to do, but it's just bad. Yeah, the movie theaters are closed. They're talking about AMC theaters, or they might not recover from it.
Why not? Because one of the things they're doing, as you know, to offset it is to let I think Universal Pictures was going to release one of the movies like on demand.
Mm-hmm. Well, that Vin Diesel movie,
can watch it
straight up garbage. We watched that the other night.
So I actually
bad.
I actually wondered if movie theaters was going to take that route as far as 3D movie goes, because if you have a VR headset, you can watch 3D movies.
Mm-hmm.
They
might.
There's an app called Big Screen where you can see movie trailers in 3D, and now movie studios have gotten in on this app, and you can rent movies for a couple of bucks and watch it in 3D. So I was wondering if some of these new releases could end up finding their way to Big Screen, but this is definitely putting a hurting on the movie industry.
Yeah. But OBJ said, yeah, Black Widow got pushed to November. Yeah, but that's okay. That's actually okay. That's actually the problem is that if it hits in November, you're going to have Black Widow come out. Then like the very next week, you're going to have James Bond come out. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe James Bond comes out, which the James Bond movie I'm very excited for. But I've always liked Daniel Craig's James Bond. I've liked all his James Bond movies. So I just like him. I think he's just smooth. And he's a killer. He wears the killer much better than he wears the suit. So
we both know the best James Bond of all time was Sean Connery.
Yeah, no doubt, no argument out of me. Definitely, he was a playboy. So he was slapping up, flipping, and rub it down. I did like his version was good too. Yeah, no, his version was very good too. So no argument.
I like Roger Moore.
Yeah. My dad, that was my rest in power for my dad. That was he liked Roger Moore because he was more comedy. He was more humorous. So that Roger Moore was kind of brought the humor. We can all agree they all better than Timothy Dalton. He straight up got it. Even though
I think the first one he did, I forgot what that movie was called.
License to Kill. That was the first one he did.
I'm not sure what it was called, but he was trying to protect that girl that there was like a cello player.
That was The Living Daylights, I think.
That was the first one. That was the first one that he was in. Mm-hmm. That one was okay. The only problem I had with that one that he was breaking his back simping for one woman when he should have been laying down for 50 women.
Well, I mean, come on, it was James Bond. I mean, you got a sign to protect her. But I thought Timothy Dalton's first one was License to Kill.
Roger Moore, even if he only chased after one woman in the movie, 2 or 3 other girls would still be after him.
That is true. Now, the second one, what about Pierce Bronson? Because he had that one James Bond movie where he hooked up, he slayed 2 of those girls. So I forgot. I think the girl's name was Christmas Jones at the end.
Oh boy, the one movie that I don't know which one of those James Bond movies that Pierce Bronson was in, but I caught a clip of it, and this super duper nerd, every 3 seconds, he kept saying, "Yes, I am invincible." I was like, I just hit the off switch.
I don't remember that one. But I'm not saying I'm not saying he didn't exist. I mean, my favorite one with Pierce is the one with Halle Berry, Die Another Day. So, but I like the other one with the 2 chicks. He slayed 2 of those chicks. So I can't think of the one he slayed. But one, he was underwater. He was on some kind of thing, and he went underwater. And when it showed him underwater, he fixed his tie. I'm like, man, this dude is just too smooth. This is too smooth for school, man.
Timothy Dalton was in the first one was I just looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
Living Daylights was the first one. The other one was License to Kill. But I think the Living Daylights, I believe, if that's the one with a cello player, I think it was my very first James Bond movie, and I became a huge fan of it.
Oh my God. Oh God, man, I feel like an old man. That's the first one you ever watched.
Really?
A View to a Kill is considered one of the worst ones, but License to Kill, that's when he went after that drug dealer. He went after that drug dealer in like Colombia, and it was like he was a 00, but he was just awesome though. It was good, but Living Daylights had Grace Jones in it. I think that's the one that had Grace Jones.
I think that was A View to a Kill because I think that was Roger Moore's last James Bond movie.
That could have been.
That's the one where Duran Duran did the soundtrack for that song "A View to a Kill."
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. Yeah, that was Roger Moore's last one. Yeah. And then all right, did the Living Days go in? I can't remember. Look, my favorite Roger Moore one is a tie. It's between Octopussy and For Your Eyes Only. For Your Eyes Only is still one of the best movies you'll watch. It was that good. But
For me, I'd have to say it was Live and Let Die.
Oh, that was good too. Kick-ass soundtrack too. Billy Joel.
Moonraker was a good one where he kept having to fight Jaws in The Spy Who Loved Me.
Oh, The Spy Who Loved Me was real good too. Yeah. Oh, that one was good too. Yeah.
Wow. Dr. No, I seen somebody mention Dr. No in the chat. Dr. No is actually the very first movie.
Yeah, Dr. No is that's as far as and the movie that came out, Skyfall, it was a take back to Dr. No. It was like a spiritual tribute to Dr. No.
And here's the thing, I thought Roger Moore was the second James Bond. He was actually the third. Because after Sean Connery, there was another guy who did that came in to play James Bond.
Yeah, George something. He was trash.
Something like that. Yeah. He only did 2 movies, and then that's when Roger Moore took over as James Bond.
Oh, he had to, because that one he did was on Your Majesty's Secret Service, and that was straight up. That was dog shit. That was dog shit. It was George something. That was his name. So, but nah, you're right. Yeah. Live and Let Die was real good. Diamonds Are Forever. That somebody mentioned that in the chat. Goldfinger. Yeah, that was filmed in Kentucky, Fort Knox. The Man with the Golden Gun. That was good. If you like,
that's a classic. That's a classic Roger Moore with Christopher Lee in it.
Yeah. Her Majesty's Secret Service. That's me. Right. It was trash. Yeah, I mean, it was so bad. Like I said, it gave me, oh my God, Gershburns. It was so bad. So, and a Nightbot's a Roger Moore fan too, I think. But my dad's favorite James Bond is Roger Moore. He liked the comedy. Roger Moore always was funny. But again, Live and Let Die. I gotta give credit where credit's due. That was damn good. So yeah, Golden Gun was awesome. They were all good, all good movies. So
don't get me wrong. When I was a kid, I loved Live and Let Die, but I had to ask the question. I was like, why is everybody killing? Why everybody he killing is black?
Well, that's the one that had Yaphet Kotto, wasn't it? Was that Live and Let Die? I think that was Live and Let Die. So,
see, I
think they were smugglers. If I remember,
I know he put that capsule in old boy's mouth and he blew up like a balloon and floated up in the air and exploded.
Yeah. Plus, Ultra said he's not a fan of the Daniel Craig stuff. Well, see, I am, but I feel you on that one. Daniel Craig.
I was like, I couldn't get behind him because the dude looked like a recovering alcoholic.
That is true. Well, James Bond is a raging alcoholic. So I mean that's part of the thing. That's why he likes his drink shaken, not stirred. So, but my favorite one with Daniel Craig is Casino Royale and Skyfall. But Casino Royale was just that was fun to watch. I mean, come on, it had Mads Mikkelsen in it. I mean, it's Mads Mikkelsen. So good grief. So somebody's playing Andromeda now. Looks dope in HDR. See, everybody talks about how great Andromeda looks. Nobody tells you how good the game is.
It did look good. I mean, I played it for a split second, and it did look good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah, I'm telling people, yeah, it looks great, but the story is garbage. Garbage.
I think the last Bond movie I see was Spectre.
Spectre was very disappointing. Quantum of Solace is very good. Oh, shout out to Gab. Real conversation. What's happening, Gab? Gab, I'm still waiting on my cameo to come back one more time. What's that called? An encore. Yeah, shout out to Gab Talk. Yeah, Quantum of Solace, I did enjoy. That was more of a takeoff of License to Kill. That was like his version of it. But yeah, you like see, I didn't like Spectre. Quantum of Solace and Spectre is the same organization, but Quantum of Solace was just kind of okay. But I did like damn, I just mentioned it. Now I can't remember the name of it. I've got all these movies swirling in my head. Casino Royale. So I just thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know why, but I just thoroughly enjoyed it. So maybe it's because that chick was hot. I think she was pretty hot. And I like Mads Mikkelsen. And I like playing poker. I like playing that game they were playing. So I've won many money out in Vegas in that. I won some money playing that game, and then I took a limousine out to the Bunny Ranch, and let's just say I had a good night. Let's just leave it there. So, but oh yeah. Oh, but Lincoln, what did you think about the? Did you watch the? I can't think of the name of it. The Last of Us Part 2. Before we get on out of here, the leaked footage.
No, I did not. I think I'm somewhat trying to stay away from it.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. I don't know, especially with this leak. I mean, not this leak, with this delay.
Yeah.
Because I really don't want to watch any, now that it's been delayed indefinitely. I mean, what am I going to do? Watch it so I can say, man, I wish I could play this game right now, man. They need to tell us when it's going to come out. I mean, what?
Well, that's what people were talking about online.
They need to tell us something. I mean...
See, I think what's kind of happened is the games that have, as they put it, gone gold, I think those are the ones that are coming out now, but the ones that weren't to that point yet are the ones that are being delayed.
Oh, I mean, I was understanding in the beginning of Sony, showing us stuff from a game, but the game's not it's not due to come out for 2 or 3 years. And then say after about 2 years of screenshots and footage and gameplay and stuff like that, and we don't get a date yet, it's like after a while I was getting tired of that mess.
Yeah.
Probably do get a date, and then it ends up getting delayed.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I really believe that they were all delayed because of the virus. If it wasn't for that, I'm sure the release dates would have been met.
Yeah. There's still no news on Ghost of Tsushima yet, though, right? Is Ghost of Tsushima still on track?
The last we heard, that is correct. It's still on track last we've heard.
Okay. All right. Yeah, people. Yeah, people. Like I said, I went to Vegas. I had a good time. Like I said, I did nothing illegal. Did nothing illegal out there. Everything I did was legal. So, and I left Vegas with $600. I was $600 up when I left.
What the thing that threw me for a loop? He said Lincoln don't care about no flat screen games. other than Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us, he would be right.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, what are you looking forward to?
I'm still highly interested in those games. Even though you don't like 99% VR, I'm still highly interested in those two games. Now, the one thing that really threw me for a loop with these delays is they delayed The Last of Us 2 first, because both Iron Man and The Last of Us was supposed to come out in February, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
They delayed The Last of Us 2 first and pushed that back till May. So my thinking was that it was a business decision, because if you would have put The Last of Us 2 and Iron Man in the same month, it's going to strangle the shit out of Iron Man. Some people only going to have enough money to buy one game, and The Last of Us 2 is probably going to win out over Iron Man. So I was like, move those games as far apart from each other as possible so people can be able to buy both of them. But then when they delayed Iron Man and pushed that back till May, I was like, man, what are they thinking?
Yeah.
Well, we were starting to get some movement about the virus back in February, didn't we?
As far as it coming, as far as games being delayed, no.
No. I'm talking about like the virus and stuff was already moving. Like we were hearing about it as far back as.
Oh yeah, January. We got that flash alert in January. Like, oh well, I'm sure they'll start getting the tests ready. And sure enough, we're like, well, ain't got no test down here, so we don't know who's immune and who's not. And this, and I'm telling you, April 30th, they're gonna open up the country. They're gonna open it back up again because the economy will collapse. So after you get your 1,200 ducats, make sure you buy AMD stock. We gotta make sure.
I'm even hearing the major chains can only sustain themselves for like 8-9 months being closed.
That's true, about 6 months, and then they can get some extensions, but because they can move some of their stuff and liquidate stuff. But no, just at the end of the day, he's got to open it up because they're just losing too much money. I mean, the market has rallied. I don't know what it closed at on Friday, but my stock did pretty good on Friday. My 401 is getting murdered. I don't even want to look at it no more. But they're going to open it up because again, they've got to make a choice, and his choice is to open it up and expose people to being sick or telling people to stay home. So and they don't want to tell people to keep staying home because there ain't nobody making no money. So.
Right.
It's just the way it is. So, and it's just, I feel bad because it's just the way it was uncompetitive. Yeah, but when I went to Vegas, I missed Prince by 3 days. I did get to see Simon and Garfunkel. So, oh boy, they put on the show. So they did Mrs. Robinson. They did, they did so many songs. So, and I met some girl named Mandy, or she told me her name was Mandy. Anyway, that was a long time ago. That was many moons ago. So he said people are dying left and right. We ain't going back to work. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And people are still going to be dying left and right, unfortunately. So they're not going to have a cure for it or a vaccine for it for at least, I don't know, 13 more months. So that's how long it takes. So. Oh, you're not. Oh, if you're not going, that's fine. But a lot of people are gonna be like, "Hey, y'all got to go." I mean, it's getting so bad that McDonald's, you can just walk up. It used to be you had to drive up there in a car through the drive-through. Now you can just walk up there like rallies. I mean, so.
Yeah, I'm at work right now, and at our job, they said they said this is voluntary. They said if you have issues with coming to work, then that's fine if you want to stay home, that kind of thing. But this thing with the child support thing, that put me behind the 8 ball.
Just up. That's what it says on you. If all you owe child support, the $1,200 that DJ Chunk's giving out, if you're behind on your Chasup, you're not getting it. They're gonna give it to the baby mama. Or you could be the baby daddy getting it. But yeah, that sucks, dude.
Yeah, but in my case, I pay child support, but I'm not behind. I'm current.
Oh yeah, well then you should get it then.
Yeah, but if I end up getting sent home, like in the case of my job, when we walk through the door every morning, they scan us. They put a thermometer on our heads. Beep. And if you register over 104, you're getting sent home. So
that's true.
If something were to happen where I would have to get sent home and told not to come back to work for 2 weeks, I would have to pay the child support out of my pocket so I don't fall behind and miss that stimulus check.
That is true, but the courts are closed, right? So there's nobody's going to enforce stuff. Like I know in Philadelphia, they're not enforcing or they're not looking for people on low-level crimes. You can go out and just whoop ass right now. You can just whoop
I don't want to take
ass.
that. I don't want to take that chance.
Yeah. Let's call it. Right now, no clubs are open. I can't go and trick my money off.
That's the other thing. I mean, yeah, I got some, I got emergency money tucked away, but
Mm-hmm.
If I could only last for a couple of months before, before I reach a breaking point.
Yeah. Well, Brett Favor, we've been I can't I understand it at Walmart, but honestly, we've been doing that since late February. They come in first, it was you self-regulated, and then it was like they would ask you if you worked at the hospital. It wasn't as bad as it is now. Yeah, they're right. I mean, they got these things down. When you come in, you got to stand 6 feet apart, and yeah, they're not playing with it. They haven't enforced it in the elevator yet, because there'll be like 4 or 5 of us in the elevator. So
the Walmart in my town, now they like set up ropes outside the door, and you got to line up outside the building, and they're letting people in as people leave. So one person leaves, they let one person in.
Yeah, that's true. And the owls are one way to help push traffic for our traffic flow. Yeah, that's what they've done at the Walmarts here in my town. So that sucks. But yeah, all right, guys, I'm gonna get on off here. I've been on for like an hour and 15 minutes, so I'm gonna go to bed. So I'm gonna make
same here. I think I'm just gonna sit up and watch YouTube, or let YouTube watch me.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Oh, it was good. It was good being with y'all tonight. I gotta get up and go to work tomorrow. So.
All right,
Amir. You have a good one. I see you, Thrash. What's good?
Oh, what's up, King Thrash? So, did you just get here? Yeah, well, this is like a West Coast show. I wanted to get the West Coast homies. I think that's what you kids say. Oh, what do you think of that idiot being released? To Varsky, whatever his name is, 69. Whatever his name. Yeah, apparently he got out. He ratted on everybody.
I'm wondering if they let him out to be killed.
That probably, I mean, he went in there and he just told on everybody. Like, God, dog. Like, shout out to the angry man. Like he said, even old white teachers told us not to be tattletelling on each other back in the day. He went in there and he sung like the Temptations, baby. So, all right then. So yeah, but that's Generation X for you. I mean, that no backbone, just no backbone. So
they know it's some savages waiting for him.
Maybe he's gonna have to go somewhere else. So that's all I can say. He's gonna have to go. Well,
if he's not in the witness protection program, he's probably gonna end up dead. Either that, or he's gonna have to like live underground and have an entourage of 50 people around him at all times, all kinds of crap.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go live in Montana. That's what he's gonna have to do. So, all right, guys. Well, look for me tomorrow morning in 12 more hours. I'll put in a little more work. Looks like I don't know. We've got some information here about Remedy Games doing Control, which according to some people who are moist as hell is a failure. So we got to wait and see. So he ain't Gen X, he's Gen Z. Yeah, he ain't like I said, he's a millennial or something. He's a millennial, I think, because only a millennial would dress like that. So, but yeah. But all right, guys, we're going to bounce on off of here. I do appreciate you all jumping on. I got to do my homework on the Remedy story. But all right, guys, that is it. Peace out to everybody. Thanks for coming by. And that's it. We out.
All right, everybody, have a good night. Thanks for having me on, Craig.
Man, no problem, man. Glad you jumped on. Peace out.